So the island, what does the island mean to me? The island, for those of you that don't know, I'm from a place called Johns Island, South Carolina. And it means a tremendous amount, honestly. It's always been that escape from the real world, all the nonsense, the chaos, the back and forth, the rat race. And not to say real life wasn't happening here, but the people make the place, the environment. They set the tone for it. And, being raised in the military, when you're out in different states, especially when it's like so far away from your tribe of people, you have to adapt, you have to pick up on things as you go. But the island was always like, it was like a dream, because in the real world, everything was so mixed up. You had all different type of races of people. And when you came to Charleston, it was a reminder that, like, we have our own, we do for ourselves. Coming up, looking up to my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, and everybody that was familiar with the family, it was again like a dream, childhood memories, coming home for the summer, and all of the aunts and uncles were on accord when it was, moving the right way, and all the cousins would be at Granny house for the summer. Like, those were, as I'm sure a lot of you all can relate, those were like some of the greatest memories that I'll ever have in this life. And the nostalgia is so real that you're currently stuck in the middle of trying to bring the good times back, or wondering what happened, why we don't do certain things. And I know this isn't reality for all families, and my family, we're still connected, but it was a lot that happened at Granny house, Granddaddy house. From my vantage point, my granddaddy was, he had retired by the time I was born, but he had businesses that he ran, took care of a lot of people, and it was just a no-brainer. Like, summertime, I'm coming home to work with granddaddy, he had a landscaping thing going on, and he would let me man the ship. Like, I was looking back, I was the youngest, and I would ride the big lawnmowers. I would ride the zero turns. Like, I'm a main cog in the engine, the equation. So he never held me back from that, and that was a big thing that I tie into my home, is that there was so much restriction in real time, like when we're out at home in the world, Maryland, Oklahoma, wherever we were, with your parents, so much restriction that when we came home and we were under granny them supervision, it's not that they let us run amok, but the upbringing, the contrast had us in position at a young age that it was like we had more freedom to do things, and the not wanting to let your grandparents down or your people down is what kept you in check when you were skating on the edge or whatever. So I just remember being able to work, save money as a youngster, buy school clothes, buy things I wanted for the next school year. I being with family, being with cousins, every weekend we cooking out, people, friends and families coming in and out. Those were the highlights of being on Johns Island. In Charleston in general, to me, from my perspective, Things may have not have been perfect, but it was mainly just us, our tribe, our people, and the close knittedness was something that was refreshing to me. Again, growing up in other places, the way that everybody knew one another. You know, I used to think it was a certain point in time. I thought my granddaddy was famous just at how much love would come his way when I'm with him through the day to day and the amount of people he knew. I thought he was famous. I think one time I ain't asked him, but I was right on the back of the truck. I was like, man, I wonder why the news ain't come to interview my granddaddy yet. Like, that's how much, joy and pride that I had looking up to my grandfather. And, all of the other heroes that came along and, people that I still hold in high regard even to this day based off of just seeing them growing up. So I always thought everything was better in Charleston, Johns Island. I always wanted to be on Johns Island. And I guess experiencing the contrast and what the lifestyle was like, to see what's going on right now, a large part of my heart and energy is tied up into those affairs and those concerns. It's fitting because this isn't just about the album or whatever I'm promoting, but this next project is really gonna start to tell my perspective on all of this. We got a single coming out called It's True, and I say all the time, if this is the last song I ever put out, it would have been worth it, because as an artist, I think that song embodies who K.O.J.I is more so than any other song that I've ever made. The song features another island legend, Donnie Triplett, my family, my brother. And yeah, that all that's to come, but it's kind of, I brought it up because that's the epitome of what I feel about the island and what it means to me, but I know it's not out yet, so